morning everyone and welcome to this new video. Yes, me in front of the camera again, because today's project is going to be a bit larger than usual, and this is why I have the camera in my hand, as I can show you better what I'm going to do. I've spent the last 1.5 hours preparing my paints and preparing our flat to not make everything dirty here. This is going to be a really large project. It is again for the neighbor that I made this small longish black and white pour a couple of videos back. And yeah, today's canvas is even bigger. It is 60 centimeter by 180 meters, so really a large one, which is laying over here. You can see it. And yeah, it covers a good portion of our flat. I have mixed my paints and it's really a lot of paint, as you can see here on my desk. It is still messy. Everything is still messy, and the thing what we are going to do today is some kind of marble look. They gave me this vase, and which I also find to be very pleasing to look at, but I honestly never did something like that before. The only thing that I know for sure is that I shouldn't use any silicone, because this one does not contain any cells and I do not want to make any cells in it, so I just left out the silicone. And that's actually the only thing that I'm pretty sure about. So we will see how this is going to work out in the very end. First thing that I'm going to do is mounting you on my camera holder so that you can have a look at everything that I do. Yeah, I hope the angle and the light is okay, because I cannot really change both of it for this one. What else? Yeah, I think that's everything that I can do for the pre-talk. Let's go! Yay! Finally the voiceover. You know what? I still feel much better behind the camera than standing in front of it. I always feel this camera adds about 20 pounds to my face. I don't know. Well, anyways, before we start with the technical stuff, some updates. Actually, I wanted to upload the acrylic pouring basic videos, which I've completed last week and finally also finished editing this weekend. But I'm still waiting for some last okays from Artina to use their logo within the videos. I plan to upload the German version first. So for all of you who like to see me speak in my original language, this is the first video to come hopefully early next week when everything is set with the logos. And yeah, it is about, I think, a bit longer than half an hour, so quite some topics to cover. And the very same video is also coming in English. The video itself is mostly the very same. It just used the same footage and made voiceovers in English, so for all of you who do not really understand German. Yeah, I hope you like it anyways, and I hope some of you will watch my video in German as well, just to be curious. Yeah, and would love to read some comments, of course. So now let's jump onto this project here, and as you can see, I used my little spray bottle to wet the entire canvas. I thought it was a good idea just to make the fabric wet all over. This, I thought, will help me that the paint is not going to stick to any certain area of the canvas, just flowing over it. And having it wetted, it also tightens the fabric a bit. So as this is a large canvas, I did not want to have everything sagging to the middle, and I hope this will help in the end. As this is more or less a dirty pour, and I will move the paint around on the canvas quite a bit. I do not expect to have loads of paint on the canvas finally anyway, so do not expect any bad sagging happening, but you know, just be prepared whatever you can, because once the paint is on the canvas, there is not so much you can do against it. So yeah, preparation. Yeah, once this was done, the most scary part actually happened. I poured my paint into my really large pouring canister this time. For a couple of years I still have some house paint laying around in my artist board, so to speak. And I thought it was a good idea to use it for such a large project. And it was about 2 liters, I think. It was thickened a bit, so I mixed it with water and everything looked perfectly fine. For the rest amount of colors, I used my almost loved Artina colors, as I usually do. Some brown, some gold, some cream color and some sienna, but only very little bit. I mixed it to have all these pastel-like feeling colors to make the entire look as the base was. Yeah, I put it into my large canister. Hoped for the best. Once this was done, everything looked really promising. I poured the whole bucket on the canvas, which I normally tell people not to do, but I just was curious about what is going to happen. And as I wanted to have this marble look in the very end, I did not want to start and go over different pours. So this was just my go-to version for this attempt here. And it really looked good. It looked really good. Of course it was a lot of paint, I think 3 liters or something. So it was quite amount of paint on the canvas which I had to move around. And it was not that easy because it really became heavy on the canvas. It took a while. But the result that I was getting really was what I had in mind. Not perfectly, but more or less it worked as I have planned. I was super happy that this worked as I hoped to. It motivated me on the go. So all this scariness was gone. Is this a word? Scariness? It was gone. I was self-confident, I was proud, and I moved on keeping the paints flowing until I get a pattern that I really liked for the end result, which I did. And once this was done, I just realized how much paint I wasted and dropped onto my floor. As you can see, I have made some plastic bags on the ground so that I do not ruin our laminate, and it was a good decision to do. But I honestly expected it anyways before I started the project, because I was so sure that this was too much paint, but I had to use it just to cover the entire canvas. So I put it aside, I let it dry. I thought it will take about 1-2 days to dry completely, although it was warm outside and in the flat. I just put it aside. Everything looked promising. I really kept my fingers crossed that everything dries as pretty as it was looking red and that no cracks happen. And they did happen, which made me sad for I think the next week or so. Yeah, I was really happy about the result, and when I noticed that cracks are going to happen, I really got scared. And I used my ventilator again, which I usually use to dry these larger projects, once I realized that cracks were happening, and started drying it from underneath, just to speed up the drying time and probably just have the water evaporated before any of these cracks can happen because of the warmth inside the flat and color drying from above and such, and it did not really work. Cracks were forming and in the end it looked like a dry desert scene. That was really depressing and didn't really know what I can do against it. There was actually not so much I could do against it. And then I realized that it was probably the worst idea using the house paint, which I used to paint your walls actually. This was, I guess, the paint that cracked everything up. But as I did not want to waste the entire canvas because I really loved the end result, I was thinking about what can be done to make it less visible at least. And so once everything was dried, I just used a thinner amount of paint. So I tried mixing the almost complete same shade of color that I've used for the pour, which is a nightmare to do, to be honest, and made it a bit thinner and used it like glazing. So I hope that this thinner glazing paint will fill up the gaps which were caused by the cracks and even it out a bit, that these cracks are not that visible in the very end. It worked quite okay. It did not cover the entire cracks, so it's still visible, and of course the texture of the cracks is still visible after all anyways. So there is nothing that I could have done against it. I could have sanded these areas just to even them out. But you know, acrylic pouring, layering paints, when I go over with sanding paper, another color is coming through and the entire thing looks differently and not even anymore. So this was not really an option, in case you thought about it as well. At least I was able to cover many of these lines caused by the cracks. And so it was less visible except for the texture itself. And when I added the varnish, I also added some drops of the paint into the varnish just to have more coverage again. And I think I varnished it 2 or 3 times in these areas just to even it out a bit more. So in the very end I could not hide all of them. It was looking okay and the entire piece looked as I hoped to. And in some way these cracks made some texture that was fun to look at. It really looked kind of nice. So, but of course I had to hope that my neighbor will love the effect as well, which he gladly did. And they already hang it in their flat. By this time, not like last time, I made some pictures of the final result. And in the close-ups you can see these cracks. Just let me know in the comments if you liked it. I really did not expect these to happen, but I will never use again my house wall paints for larger pours or pours in general. I will use my acrylic paints. So let me know in the comments if you liked it, what you think about it, if you liked the idea. So if this was one of the first videos that you've seen of mine, make sure that you have a look at all the others as well. Many are there already. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and have a look at my Etsy store, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you like and wherever you like to be in touch with me. Yeah. Next video is coming soon. Again, these are the acrylic pouring basics for those of you who are new to the medium and want to experiment and learn, probably. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for your time, thanks for watching, and until next video, have a great day. Bye bye.